Hi, I'm Trip Smith, and this is my greenhouse management crop evaluation. Here's a crop overview of the plants that we potted up. We potted up some poinsettias, Gerber daisies, and monsteras. Then we had some perennials, annuals, and succulents. Then we potted up some pansies, viola, ornamental kale, and cabbage. And then we finished up by seeding some herbs like mint, oregano, thyme, basil, cilantro, and spicy basil. And here's a lab overview of the things that we were tasked with doing. We had to pot up our plants. We also had to water and fertilize every other day. We also had to make our own fertilizing solution, measure EC and pH. We had to pinch our flowers, apply insecticide, apply plant growth regulators, and measure our plant growth. And this is the equipment we needed throughout the class. We needed pots and trays, potting soil, watering hoses. We needed a fertilizer, a scale, bucket, and mixing stick to make our fertilizing solution. We also needed a dosatron so we could fertigate our crops. We needed an EC and pH meter, DI water, beakers and measuring sticks, PGRs and insecticides, as well as sticky traps for insects. The first plant I'll start with are the poinsettias. As you can tell, the plants get larger and deeper green in color as the year goes on. And my first round of poinsettias, some of them died because the mister where they were sitting wasn't working. So that left me with 11. And then later on in the semester, when we did our second round of pot ups, there weren't enough left over for me to use. So later on in the semester, I had to receive donations from other students to get to the number of 25 poinsettias. And we also had to pinch our poinsettias and apply PGR so that they would grow more like a bush instead of be real tall and thin, and also so that they would be ready in time for us to bring home for Christmas. And mine are currently still in the greenhouse. I'm waiting for them to turn red or white. And this is the EC and pH of those poinsettias. As you can tell, the EC increases after I doubled the fertilizer rate on September 23rd, and the pH also lowers as I'm fertigating throughout the year. This makes sense as when I increase the fertilizer rate, there's more nutrients in the soil, so the EC increases, and this fertilizer can also make the soil become more acidic. These are my Gerber daisies. I actually had some issues with these around the sixth picture. I started noticing the leaves were turning brown and getting real crinkly and crispy, and I believe that was due to the PGR I sprayed, which I use Bonsai, but I'll get into that a little bit later on. And this is the EC and pH of those Gerber daisies. There is a spike in EC around October 17th, and this could be due to this leaf browning that I was noticing somehow. And then the pH also lowers throughout the year as I'm fertigating, but then it increases around November 4th, which this is when I wasn't fertigating due to this leaf browning that I was noticing. And then here's my monsteras. I didn't think these would come up for the longest time because they were just growing so slow, but I was very proud of what I ended up with in the end, and I got a few of these around my house now as my house plants. And these are the perennials that we did. As we get through the year, they get larger and fill out the tray more. And some of these actually started pushing out of the tray with their roots. So they probably needed to be repotted sooner than they were, but I was pretty pleased at how these ended up. And these were the annuals that we potted up. This is actually what I was pinching most of the time because they had so many flowers. And some of these started to actually fall. And I also think that's due to the roots needed more room to grow, so they probably should have been potted up sooner than they were. These are the succulents that we potted up, and these are probably my favorite because I kept several of these and have them throughout my house as my house plants. I did have some issues with the purple flush. It spread throughout the other trays and planted at scions and got stuck and tangled in the other ones, so that was kind of difficult separating them when I was taking them out. And this is the pansies, violas, ornamental kale, and cabbage, and these grew really fast. This is only a 4-week period, but my ornamental cabbage especially got really large, and I'll tell you why that was an issue later on. And these were the herbs that we seeded. These grew very fast, And you can tell by most of mine that there's a lot of plants in each tray. And this was because I put way too many seeds in each one because these seeds were very, very small. So that led to overpopulation in each tray. So that was kind of an issue. So issues I had and what I would do differently. As I said, I had issues with my Gerber daisies. All of them started showing brown leaves, and the leaves were crinkly and crispy. And this was likely due to applying too much PGR. I used the bonsai spray, so next time I probably wouldn't use the bonsai. And another classmate showed similar symptoms when he used the bonsai spray. It was strange that my control group showed similar symptoms, even though I sprayed these on a different place in the greenhouse. So maybe there was somehow this drift that got to them or something that caused that. As I said on the last slide, I had too many herbs in each cell. These seeds were really small, so I had just like a pinch of them I put in. So next time I would get some tweezers and only put about 5 of these in each cell. Also, some of the plants were overgrown, and this wasn't very good for transportation from a business standpoint. And as I said with the kale, I said it was too large, and this was because the leaves on it were very fragile. So if you're transporting it, you're probably going to break a bunch of these leaves off. So I probably would fertilize certain plants less, so this grown growth doesn't occur as much. Also, as I said with the purple flush, I would plant it away from other plants because it spread out and got tangled in the plants that were near it. So that kind of made it difficult to pull up when I was moving them. I would also tailor the watering schedule and fertilizer rate for each individual plant species next time. So some plants might require more water or less, and some plants might require more or less fertilizer. We just watered them every other day and applied the same amount of fertilizer to all the plants except for the poinsettias. So next time I would kind of tailor it to each individual plant species just to get the optimal growth. I would also place these different plant species in different places in the greenhouse based on how much heat they require and how much light they require. So maybe I would put the ones who prefer more warmth towards the back next to the fans, and the ones that prefer more cool temperatures towards the cooling pad, and also where it gets the most light based off of those things. And that's my presentation. Thank you.